We have a few loose ends just to tie up before our project is completed. So let's start by committing our latest changes to Git. When we run git status, we can see that our index.html and our main.js have changed. If I do a git diff on index.html, it'll show me the changes that I've made. I'm happy with that, so I can press Q to quit from the diff screen, and now I can add index.html and main.js to the staging area. Now I can do a git commit, and my comment is going to be implement pagination. All right. So the next thing that we want to do is fix a display bug. Because we're displaying our arrays as strings, the commas that separate the values are also treated as part of that string, and they're being displayed here at the top of our table. So what we're going to do is use a .replace method, and this takes two arguments. Firstly, what we want to find, and secondly, what we want to replace it with. And we're going to use a regular expression to find our commas. Regular expressions are powerful ways of performing searches. We're going to use them later in this course, particularly when it comes to the Django section. But for now, we're going to type /, which indicates this is a regular expression, comma, and /. So the comma between the two / is what we want to find. We're then going to type the letter G. G means to find all instances of the comma. Don't just stop at the first one. As we said, our replace method takes two arguments. So for the second argument, after the comma, after G, we're just going to supply an empty string. In other words, we want to find all commas and replace them with an empty string. Let's do that now. So if I save that, and now refresh the screen, then we can see that all of the commas have been removed, which is perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to happen. So now we can commit our changes to Git. So I just need to git space add space main.js, because that's the only thing that's been changed. And then I'm going to do a git commit. Git space commit space -m, and I'm just going to say fix bugs with commas rendering at the top of the table. And that's it. Our little project is complete. Again, we've covered an awful lot in this lesson. Starting with the basics of a URL, we've seen how we can retrieve structured data from application programming interfaces, or APIs, and how we can make use of this data in our own projects. We've built a small app to pull information from the Star Wars API and to display it nicely for the user. The Star Wars API is an open API, by the way, which means you don't need to register before you use it. Many API providers do require that you register, and they'll give you an API key, which is like a password. You'll need to send that each time as part of the URL when you make a request, so just be aware of that. That concludes our lesson on accessing data from external resources. In our next lesson, we're going to see how to put all of what we've learned together in one project.